We're back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. Until the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask from return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. Studies have also proven and shown that when you smash the like button, you become a better trader. No, I'm just kidding. But in this video, we're going to talk about Wish stock and Clover Health investments. We're going to talk about what's going on with Wish stock's chart as well as CLOV stock, so we could see what is going on overall in these two stocks after their earnings. Some of them have jumped up like Clover Health, and then Wish stock has actually pulled down, and what to look for moving forward. But before we jump into these charts, I want to share with you guys the home run of the week and the stocks I mentioned this week and the stocks I mentioned this morning as well. So let's jump into it and we're going to get right into these charts. The home run of the week was spectacular. Today, I managed to find 3 to 5% jumps on the daily watch list, but the weekly watch list, we managed to find a home run that went up 30% plus. If this is something you want to become part of, I would like to invite you to join us. The links are down below in the description to the Discord and Patreon, and by joining, you'll gain access to both, and you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So these were the stocks I mentioned this morning over at the Discord. VERO, BOXL, giving us small jumps of 3 to 5%, 5 to 10% at their highest peaks. And the home run of the week was OPEN. Started talking about it at $14.43 after it closed on Friday. I mentioned this back on Sunday, August 8th, and let's see how it reacted this week. It was phenomenal. And on the weekly watch list, I always post my thoughts and a brief summary of how I feel about the stock. So you get a little bit more information, as well as analysis price targets that I share over at the post. So this is how it reacted on Monday. It pulled back from the 1440s down to 1415, took off to the 1530s and pulled back down to the lows of 1430 and took off to a high here of 1846. So it gave multiple opportunities to make 10 to 20%, 5 to 10%, but the highest point of possibility this week was 30% plus, guys. This was phenomenal, and this was a spectacular home run for the week. We look for home runs daily and also weekly. Now, on the weekly watch list, they move more of 5 to 10%, 10 to 20%, but 30% plus, this was a home run, guys. If this is something that interests you, the links are down below in the description, and we look forward to having you join us. Well, let's jump into the chart here that we're going to talk about everything moving forward. We are with CLOV stock, Clover Health Investments, and what are we going to look for moving forward, especially after going even lower and getting back down closer to this area, guys. It's not there yet, but if it falls right back down to this channel where we saw it before it ran up here, this is a sure sign of weakness, and it could possibly go even lower. Right now, it's sitting at 830, and we're going to talk about some things here that we want to watch going into Monday, the next following week. And also, I do want to touch base on some FUD that is coming around the markets, which could actually shock even this sector of CLOV stock and many other stocks in general. And it is the fact that the variant is out there. There's also fears that this is getting too elevated, which is the S&P 500 index, setting up for a pullback again. The tapering talks, you know, the 10-year treasury bond spiking up again, just a whole bunch of random things. So a lot of the most biggest earnings have happened in the last 4 weeks. The earnings that are to come moving forward, they're not as exciting or important, and that could reflect in the markets as well. So that's just something to be aware of. But overall, this stock right now in its chart is not looking strong at all because of this pullback. It all started right here, okay? Back here at the $9 range, and this bar coding here, and in the aftermarket hours, hitting lows here of 868, bouncing back up to 890, and then today in the pre-market, retesting that area, and then just falling right below it super fast, 20 cents below 867, all the way to 845, bouncing back up, and then just going into weakness, right? And now we're down at 830. So the lowest point before this run was way down here at 802. So $8, guys, is the next support level I would watch. And if that gets broken through, I would watch how this reacts between $8, $7.78, which we've talked about before, as well as 750. A lot of people have challenged me on this, and I've always stated this. Do you think this stock can go back to 750? And a lot of people say that is not possible. This is going up. Look at the momentum. But when you really zoom out, this has been a whole bunch of small short squeezes or just bull traps. Like I've stated it plenty of times, because every time it goes up that fast, right, as we see here in the chart, it comes right back down to the same area. That is not true strength. What would be true strength is a staircase effect. I keep on drawing it out, and I want investors to be aware of it. You want to see things break out in a staircase effect, not just go up and then come right back down with that V shape, but not to the upside, if not upside down, because that is not showing the strength that the stock needs. And I stated it yesterday, I was not liking that bar coding. I wanted to see some consolidation here at least. And then yesterday when it started running here after this dip in curvature, some consolidation here. We have not seen consolidation anywhere. All it does is go up, and it's just breaking through everything that it went up to. So now what I really want to look for is consolidation around this area. But we're so close to the bottom that it almost seems unnecessary for consolidation to even happen here. If anything, it'd be better for it to retouch down here and then work its way back up in a slow, healthy fashion, right? That would be a lot better of a reversal than just starting right here, just a few cents away from that starting point. That doesn't really make sense, but we'll have to see what happens. But if it does consolidate here, it could be a sign of strength, as long as it stays there, doesn't go too crazy down, too crazy up, and stays in this area showing true strength. But if it doesn't, I mean, this is possible to retest $8, which is down here. And if it breaks through that, it could be on its way down towards 750, which a lot of people have challenged me on that. I'm not saying that it will get there, but I'm just saying the charts are showing a possibility, if this breaks through $8, to head that way. Now, if it heads that way, the 52-week range, the lowest point, is 631. So we're still far from the lows, but it's going to be pretty close to its all-time lows, and in the last year as well. So it is something to be aware of and pay close attention to as well. So here we are with CLOV stock and what's going on. So I stated $8 important to watch, but what are we going to watch to the upside? The first thing is the highest point of the day, guys, 889. I would just round that up to 890. That needs to be broken through and turn into a support and significantly pulled away from to reach up here to where the bar coding started. I believe this needs to be broken through so that the bulls can truly show momentum upside, and that's 926. I would even round that up to 930, 931, like right up here, and watch within that area if the bulls can pull away from it, use it as a support, and create that staircase effect. And then from those levels, reach the highest point that was recently reached, which was 1013. And this stock, really what it needs is to stay above $10, create a support up here, either consolidate or go in a healthy upward trend, fighting above $10 to then bounce off of that and reach newer highs and new resistance. Wish stock ContextLogic Inc. has actually hit newer lows, and the 52-week low before this was 752. We saw new lows yesterday of 737, 738, and today's new low is 669. The 52-week range now being the lowest point, 669. Now, what made this stock fall even lower today? Well, analysis price targets were actually being degraded, right? There was analysis price targets that were at $19 being brought down to $15 and $10. Price targets from 12 coming down to 8 and 7. And then price targets going all the way down as low as $5, right? Created a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and creating a huge overreaction. Now, the stock is trying to build itself back up with momentum here. You can see the bulls trying to fight up, and also volume is phenomenal, right? It's almost at 200 million. I believe it's the #1 traded stock in the whole entire day today, between going up and going back down. And it's going to be important to watch this, because I had stated this can go as low as $5, right? Between $5 to $7. And we saw that at these lows here of 669. The question mark is, could this hit a new 52-week low? And that's possible. That's why we're going to dissect this chart as much as possible here as we see it for what it is. And another thing too, this is one of those opportunities where if you believe in the stock and you see a huge potential in the long run, this is where opportunities are forming, guys. Opportunities are in the dips, right? Every single dip and every single pullback is a setup for the next bull run, right? You've seen that in the history of the charts, right? This pullback here was a setup for this bull run. This pullback here was a setup for this bull run. In this pullback, which we don't know the bottom yet, it hasn't really created one. It seems to be 669 for now, but if it gets broken through, what is the bottom, right? That's the big question mark. It's just all about being prepared, equipped, and also doing research on what stocks you're actually watching or looking to get into, and why do you want to get into them, because it's so important to know the why. Because if you're trying to do something quick or overnight, there is no stock that can actually do that. Luck or positioning yourself at the right time, at the right place, and right execution can do that. But trading is all about investing, right? That takes time. It takes actual data and actual earnings, right? This stock is not profitable. So it's so important to be aware of what type of stock you're getting yourself into when you pick stocks. So this stock alone right now is in a position to probably go lower, but if it doesn't, these are the levels we're going to watch. So the first thing is 669. Okay, 669, if that gets broken through, I would watch how it reacts between 669 and 650, because it's going to be important to have a base point, right? Beyond 669, which is 19 cents more, 650. If 650 gets broken through, between 650 and $6, and this is just me projecting if that happens. Now, if 669 turns out to be the bottom, this is where opportunities are forming, because it might pull back in a healthy manner, and that's going to be the setup, right, for the next bull run to continue pushing upwards. And if you do your research, there's articles already coming out stating that there's a gap that needs to be filled from these lows up to up here at 940s. And gaps tend to get filled eventually, okay? I saw an article about that. I want you to do your own research on it and find it. It's out there. And I found that very interesting, because gaps do need to get filled at some point eventually. But this stock right now, I'm not focusing on the fact that it can refill this gap. If anything, I'm looking for strength right now to consolidate here and not go any lower. That we have found the bottom, and that the bottom is 669. And this could be a clear sign of opportunity until the next catalyst that pushes this up. And I think one of the biggest next catalysts that can either make this go north or south is them announcing their CFO, okay? There's no real CFO right now. Once that happens, that's going to be huge. So the stock right now is pulling downwards. The first support level right there is 734. I would also use as a midway point 711. And if 711 gets broken through, 669. Now, if it bounces off of those levels and it's pushing upwards, and if momentum continues, well, the resistance level is the highest point of the day, and that's 785. If that gets broken through, next point of reference is up here at 835, and then obviously the highest point of 957, and that's where that gap would be filled. And if it creates a support there because enough volume is pushing it upwards, then this could be on its way back up towards $10, and I would watch between 957, 956, give or take, to $10 and see what's going on with the stock and what type of potential is forming at those levels. Now, analysis price targets have been degraded, right? They've gone lower, but they're still higher than where we're at right now. So that is one positive way to look at it, even though they brought it down from 19 to 12, from 12 to 8, and from 8 or 7 or whatever number it was to 5 that some of them have actually mentioned. You know, it still goes to show that a lot of them are the ones that were pointing to the upside are still pointing to the upside from these levels. Yes, there are some pointing to the downside, and that could cause catalysts to push downwards because of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But it is important to be aware also of those that are still pointing this one at least 30% up from here, 20% up from here, 50% up from here. So definitely do more research on the stock. This is one of the best times to do research to understand the stock if you're not in it. And if you are, you definitely want to understand the stock to know where it is that you stand as an investor and where the possibilities may head. As always, this is not financial advice. This is just me enlightening you guys on what I'm seeing in the charts and what I feel about the stock, just my opinions. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.